what a pity that so many professional homeopaths shared that view and weren't open-minded to the possibility. And therefore, whether this child would ever get the help he needed, I wasn't sure. But yeah, so there aren't many. And even when I talk to fellow homeopaths about it, some are interested, but none of them are involved or knowingly psychic, as in, practicing or interested or going to development groups or anything. Many of them, I think, are very nervous about being discredited any more than homeopathy already is, and therefore they avoid adding anything more that might contribute towards that. So yeah, right, I get the connection, but yeah.
All right, everybody, it is time for our final commercial break. You are listening to Paraversal Universe, and we'll be right back with our guest for the final segment.
You are listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, the best in paranormal talk radio.
Thank you for listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama. The time is 45 minutes after the hour.
Alrighty, we're back, everyone. This is Paraversal Universe, produced by WBHM Digital Broadcasting. Also heard on WCET-FM, the Rift Radio Network, and Amelia Pisano Productions. We're your hosts, Kevin and Jennifer Malek. We're glad you are with us. We now have t-shirts of the logo for Lake Monstrosities for purchase. Half the proceeds will go to charity and the specific cause to help 8-year-old Daniel D. Miza, who suffers from Dravet syndrome and seizures on a regular basis. Lake Monstrosities is the largest social media group outlet dedicated to aquatic mysteries and wonders of all kinds. So you can find those shirts there. You can find it on Facebook. There's a like page and a group page. The group page is the home of Lake Monstrosities. But either one, you can find these shirts. It's a great group, great artwork, a great shirt for a great cause. So if you're interested in helping that family out, you get a beautiful shirt out of it. So this segment is brought to you by the 5-star Reader Choice Award winning epic fantasy trilogy, Helm, by Robert L. Malek. So check that out. And back to the show. This is Paraversal Universe, and we are talking with intuitive and author Claire Waters of Raising Faith, the book. Are you still with us?
I'm here. Hi, Kevin.
Hi. Alrighty. So, we have come to our last segment. I guess one question would be, will there be another book? And if so, what about?
Yes, I would like to write another book. What I would really like to do next is to work with others going through similar things. It made me realize all these years I've been a practitioner with homeopathy, with Reiki, I do food testing, and I suddenly realized I've been in training. I think I've been in training for years without even realizing it. And I think all of those skills I already have and the gazillions of patients I've helped over the years have just given me an ability to connect with people and to help people through. And you end up becoming more than the therapy you trained in. You end up just applying everything you've learned along the way to help that person heal. And I do believe the journey I've been on is to get me to this point where I can now help others. So I do think my experiences being a mother to psychic children and some of my own psychic abilities now, together with all of that, will enable me to help others. So I would like book number 2 to be something for everybody, a more of an understanding of what others are going through. And again, sharing that knowledge, sharing the lessons learned from it, helping others understand how they can help themselves. And as I said before, just by sharing our stories is so uplifting, it's so helpful and comforting to know you're not alone and to know where to go to for advice. And I would love to be part of that. So that's what I would love book number 2 to be about. I also think there is a need to discuss more about the food sensitivities. I've mentioned this briefly, is that I touch on it in Raising Faith, but I do think people who are sensitive to energies, psychics and more, I do think there's a tendency towards being sensitive to lots of things, including food. And I'm seeing a pattern developing that I need to look into a bit more about just how and what these people are being affected by. But from my experiences, food sensitivities and psychic gifts seem to have a link. I'm not suggesting everyone with food sensitivity is psychic, but I think if you're already sensitive to energies, it's not surprising that food's going to be one of those things affecting you. So that's something I would like to look into and perhaps write a bit more about.
They say you are what you eat.
Yeah.
And
Go ahead. I was going to say even healthy food, I think. So as much as you are what you eat, even if you're eating technically foods that are recommended as healthy for you, they can still be affecting you if you're sensitive.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, we live in a day and age where they're spraying everything. There's GMOs and stuff. The food at the supermarket don't taste like it used to because it's all processed.
Fluoride in the water.
Right, fluoride in the water. And now they want to roll out this 5G, which hasn't been tested. And there's many scientists waving the red flag, saying this is a bad idea. This is dangerous to humans. Can't you tell? Look at the birds dying around these towers. If that's not a clue, I don't know what is. So we have all these things bombarding us. And, that all affects our being. And that's mind, body, and soul. And with soul comes the psychic element.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, of all the things that you've learned about this and about PSI, and that you've all put together, what are you most grateful for learning, and why?
I guess I'm most grateful for learning to have faith. I mean, I've understood along the way, learning about some of the spiritual laws, that everything does happen for a reason. And I now see a pattern in things. It's changed my life to listen to other people's stories and hear their difficulties. And I can see why those things have happened. I can understand why they're like they are, why they're struggling the way they are, why the things are affecting them. Because it's all part of a bigger picture. And it's really just having faith, I think, and understanding that you're on a journey of learning, and that even when things that are sad and hard to deal with happen to you, you have an opportunity to learn from them. There's often a silver lining around that difficult experience, even the tragic ones. And if you can tap into that, if you can trust and you can have faith that you're on that journey for a reason, that there's something to be learned, I think for me it makes the journey so much easier to understand. I don't look at things with the same eyes that my family does, for example. You know, they'll look at a tragic story and talk about the person who's hurt that person, and they should be in prison, and they should be this, and they should be that. And I just don't see that anymore. I am able now to feel compassion for people who've done things to hurt others. I'm able to understand maybe why, or at least question why, what has led them to be the person they are that's then reacted and done that and hurt somebody else. It's just opened my mind up to a completely different way that I think is a more peaceful way of living and understanding the world. So for me, that's probably the biggest impact it's had on me. Yeah, I guess you learn to judge a little bit less when you see the bigger picture. It's easier to understand.
That's awesome.
That is.
I like that.
So do I.
So is there any, as we wrap this up, is there any message you would like, any final thoughts I should ask, perhaps?
It would be great, really, just to share with people that, you know, I would love to be a support. I would love to help. I'm at the very beginning of creating a system whereby people can contact me and I can provide a support to them. I'm just getting some ideas now as to how I can do that for people. There's people all around the world following Raising Faith on Facebook, and I have a website too, which has got some useful information, and I'm going to be adding more and more and more, all with a view to providing support to help these families out there. There'll be videos and podcasts with experts in different therapies, many of whom are psychic, many of whom have raised their own psychic children, been through difficult times with them. You know, and again, like I said, we're just sharing, we're learning from each other, we're understanding what's out there that we can use to help our children get through this difficult world with these extraordinary abilities. So yeah, just stay in touch with me. Contact me via the email and the Facebook if you need any help. And this is the beginning of the Raising Faith journey, really, and I hope there'll be much more to come.
Thank you for coming on the show and spending a couple hours of your time with us and the audience.
Yeah, we really appreciate it, and this was wonderful.
Absolutely.
It's been amazing. Thank you so much, both of you, for having me, and for everyone and the questions they've submitted. It's been lovely to talk about it in such a comfortable way and such a welcoming way. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Alrighty. We'd like to thank Claire Waters for being such a wonderful guest. Next Friday, we are going to have renowned shaman Walt Christos on, the psychic who beat James Randi at his famous $1 Million Challenge.
Oh, it's going to be great.
Yes. Of course, Randy never paid up, but whatever. It's all documented. Walt clearly won, and everyone knows it. So you don't want to miss that. Walt's awesome. We love Walt. So he's coming up next week. Feel free to support any of the networks mentioned here tonight, as well as the Northern Wisconsin Paranormal Society Limited, which is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Support by donating. It's folks like you who ensure that these excellent organizations and networks will be here tomorrow. To the believer, the evidence is overwhelming.
And to the skeptic, there will never be enough.
Thank you. God bless you. Everyone have a wonderful night and a wonderful weekend, and we will see you here next time.
Good night, everyone.
You are listening to WPHM Digital Broadcasting. The best in paranormal talk radio.